All right, what's going on, everybody? We're going to be knocking out some new art. It's a new year. So happy new year, everybody. Hope you're all doing fantastic. This is a canvas that I... hold on one second. Canvas that I added color to a little while ago. Okay, so let's see what we got here. So we got that, and I hope everyone's having that fresh start to the new year. Let's keep this going. What is happening here? Browse. Let's see. Where's my channel? Okay. So I hope you're all getting a chance to make some new art, some new ideas, some new creativity. I'm gonna block off a section here. I need to block this off here right now. Gotta air out the room. So let's, oops. It's a bit of a change here. Okay, let's go. So I haven't been painting recently. And it's one of those things where it's just like, you get into a slump, and then even if it's only like a week turns into another week, and definitely easy to think negative thoughts. And this stream isn't necessarily about negative thoughts, but more so this idea of working through procrastination, really trying to refine that energy, that excitement. And one of the ways I do it is to search through various social channels and constantly just seek ideas. But also, if I'm honest with myself, I think I've just been lazy as far as realizing that as a live streamer as well, I have to set up all my devices and everything. But you know what? It's what I signed myself up for. It's this thing that I've organized for myself, set up for myself. So No one to, or nothing to complain about there. Let's go. Let's move into this new year, get some painting done. Now I have some like little chunks of color here that the other day I was making this, and some of the color came off. But let's see. Let's see. What do I want to do with this? I don't know yet. I just all I did was prepare this canvas. I did all this. Let me air out the room a little bit. I just prepped this, put a bunch of color on it, just so there's like a color that's underneath for when we do paint something. But I don't necessarily have an idea of what I want to do with it. I don't have a specific subject matter that I want to paint. I just liked the idea of having color on it, just to get myself going, just get myself motivated again after a little hiatus. So, you know, I've got this blue on here. Let's see what we can find. Let's add some white. Let's start with some white here. Start with this white. I've got these little tube squeezers right here. And, you know what I did realize though, working through some of these holidays, I was talking to my partner about this, and she was like talking about how I was telling her like some stories about like some people that I'd met recently that were not enjoying their holidays. And I find that such an interesting thing, because, you know, it's just like a common question that you would ask people. Hey, how are your holidays going? And you know, working in the public, working with people on a regular basis, that can be a tough question to ask, because what happens if the person isn't having a great holiday? Then you have this awkward thing of you bringing up, I guess, a bad idea or a bad memory or a bad current situation for the other person. So, you know, there's always that challenge when you're just trying to be friendly or whatever. But I was surprised this year at how many people were not having a good holiday season. So, you know, my girlfriend, my partner had said to me that some people have a hard time during the holidays. It can be hard for some people during the holidays. And definitely going into the new year, I think one of the best things we could do for ourselves is to allow ourselves to just, you know, express ourselves. Whether you need to talk to somebody, or, you know, if you are in a good holiday position to be open to hearing people out, or whatever it is that you think can help others. So anyway, let's see. We've got blue. Let's go with this white here. Let me just start with the white, and then we're going to go from there. But it was definitely this holiday season when I really noticed a lot of people not having a good time with their holidays, sadly. So we're going to clean off this brush, oil this brush up. This isn't going to be one of my normal paintings. Going to be a bit more experimental. Guess I'm always experimenting with ideas, never landing on just one. But let's just see what happens. We're going to start with some white here. But I hope everyone is having at least a decent holiday if you're watching this. If not, I mean, can it really get worse? Maybe. I don't know. So let's go. We're just going to start with some white here. This is going to be an abstract piece. I don't know where this is going to go. But we're just going to play around here with some white. Starting with some white here. I would just call this a more improvisational painting that, you know, just improvisation. Why not? Improvisation. I don't have a specific thing in mind that I came with, and I'm just going to run with it. A lot of times I do this just to get out of my own head, you know, just to get into the groove of painting again. Especially if I've taken a break, whether it be like a couple of weeks or whatever. I think it helps me just like break back into into the creative creative momentum. So here we go. Let's find some other brushes that we can mess around with. And the other hard part about not painting for a while is your brushes tend to get stiff. Or my brushes tend to get stiff, I should say. I shouldn't talk about other people's brushes, because that might not be the case. But my brushes tend to get stiff because I leave the paint on. And let's see how we can wipe this brush off. Let's go like this. It's time for me to revive some of my brushes. It's been a while. That's the one tough thing about oil paints is, like, when you're working with oil paints, they're really rough on your brushes. So if you don't take like the best care of them, if you're not painting and using them like every single day, you can have some issues. So what we're going to do here, we are going to pop open our cleaning water. So this water is for cleaning, not for drinking. And let's go like this. We're going to go into here and just get really nice up in here. So I'm using Master's brush cleaner. And this is called the Master's brush cleaner. Let's see what the cap is. I have the cover right here. I use something called the Master's brush cleaner right here. And it's like a soap. It's basically like a soap that you just pour. You just like rub into, and the idea is that should help to separate the pieces, help to restore the brush. So let's see how this goes. We're going to put that down for a second. Scout, go. So we've adopted our foster kittens. We've been fostering these kittens for a little while, and we finally adopted them. So that's an exciting thing that's happening for the new year. We adopted them on the very last day of the month. So literally yesterday. Which, you know, very exciting. Who has cats? If you have cats, feel free to share in the inbox. But my goodness. Let me see if I can use a brush comb here. Got this great tool the other day, but it's probably like too big for my purposes. So this is a brush comb, and it's supposed to be for like household paintbrushes, but I think it's ultimately just really a bit too rough for these brushes. These are weasel hair or some type of badger hair. These are badger hair brushes. These are badger hair brushes. So I'm probably just like super messing up this brush right now. But this is a Rosemary Co brush. It's a bit more expensive than just a regular any old brush, and the fibers usually are really fine, really delicate. But you know what, since I've already kind of screwed up this brush, I'm just going to go ahead and use this thing and try to see if I can break up. The goal is to break up some of the bristles. And this also helps to scrape off the paint as well on the brushes, because this is a brass thing. But helped a little bit. Not bad. So we could actually give this like one more scrub through. Throw in some water, scrub it down, and we'll go from there. Let's see how it works out. Here we go. Let's go like this. All right, so that actually did a pretty good job. I'm actually pretty surprised as to how it came out. Now, there's one problem. You know, this brush looks like, I don't know if y'all remember how it was before. Some of these pieces are still stuck together a little bit, but it has split up again a little bit. Now that's a combination of using our bristle cleaner, our bristle separator, which, you know, kind of damages the brush, but that's okay. It was already damaged anyway. So don't use it on like a new brush or a brush that doesn't need that much restoration. But if the brush was like mine, where a lot of the hairs were stuck together, definitely worth trying out. So let me add some. I'm gonna add some burnt umber. Actually, you know what? I really want to get rid of this one color I've had for a while, Van Dyke Brown. I've really been wanting to use up this color. I'm not like the biggest fan of this paint color, because the way it like lays down, it's not like a cream. It's like a matte. When you lay it down this color, it's really interesting how so many different paints can have like different textures. And we're just gonna take this brown and we're just gonna go into this painting, go around in this painting, and just see what happens. I don't have a story or anything of what I'm trying to do here. I find a lot of my work is really improvisational and just trying to be mindfulness. I call it mindfulness. This idea where you're being mindful, you know, being present with your artwork, and allowing yourself to just stay in the present moment and allow yourself to just allow whatever comes up to come up. But at the same time, it's also mindless in the sense of I don't have any specific ideas in my mind. I call this a mindful-less painting. A bit of abstracting, a bit of improvisation, with no necessary intentions all the time. As far as a creative process goes, you know, it's not necessarily like a technical process as much as it is just a, I don't even know if you could call it like a left brain process. Like this isn't, it's not a technical right brain process. There's no, I mean, maybe there's some logic to it, I don't know. But it's also not necessarily like a creative left brain process where I'm actually, you know, trying to make up my own design or trying to have a specific look or portray a specific message. I'm not doing either of those things, I don't think. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know this sounds weird. I mean, we all see it as either, right? Left brain or right brain. But does it ever have to be just only left or right brain? I don't feel like this is a left brain activity, and I don't feel like this is a right brain activity. It's not right brain because I'm not going through some process or technical design, being like totally precise with everything that I'm doing. And I wouldn't say it's totally a left brain process either, because I think the left brain process, you know, is this idea of like combining right brain ideas in a unique, creative way. But I'm not really doing that. I'm just kind of like just being mindfulness. So it's an idea. And I don't usually do this much brushing, but I really want to see where this goes as far as this color, this Van Dyke brown. Really want to spread it around. And I'm not necessarily promoting my way of painting. This is, I know one thing that's interesting about live streaming is when you're live streaming, I feel like there's this demand for tutorials, like a demand for art that makes sense, art that is very technically skilled, stuff like that. But I can't say. And there's that pressure to do so. So you know, if you're like live streaming or whatever, there's this pressure to make things make total sense when you're painting. But I guess it doesn't always work that way. It doesn't always make sense. So I'm just spreading this brown as far down as it can go, and just seeing how this helps to create a cohesive color. Let's just leave that at that. Alright, we're going to use this brush for brown. Our Van Dyke brown. Let's keep going with this white. We're going to go in with this white. Getting lots of text messages right now for all of a sudden. All right, so here we go. Where are we going with this? Nobody knows. What is on your mind? I think it does help to create a level of unusualness in art when you can just kind of jump in and, you know, it's not quite action art like Jackson Pollock, where Jackson Pollock was totally fixed on the entire action of painting. This brilliant mix of just total expression as well as physicality and action into his work, that if you've ever watched his videos, you'd probably understand what I'm saying. Like, I really like Jackson Pollock's action art as far as, you know, such a physicality of everything. But that's not exactly what I'm going for. As far as just abstracting goes. I don't even know what you would call this style, except for trying to make something up like mindfulness painting, expressionism. Let's see, what are some good ways to start building up these colors here? Let's go. Let's grab the rest of this Gamblin yellow. Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna do this yellow. Let's save that yellow for a different painting. We're gonna go with our Winsor Newton yellow right here. Use up one of my good old 150 milliliter tubes. It's a good time to squeeze down my tube here. I've already got some holes on these tubes. I don't know if it's the tubes themselves or if it's the company that makes these tubes, or if it's like the way I'm doing it. But for whatever reason, these tubes by Winsor Newton tend to have holes in them. And that's kind of annoying, especially the big ones. Especially these big ones. So let me see right here. There we go. These tube squeezers come in very, very handy. So here we go. We're going to go up, up, and about. Up, up, and around. There we go. So let's see. Squeeze some more down. I think the trick is to use this to squeeze some of it down first, and then use the tube squeezer to like use the hand grip to pull some of it, rather than just trying to use the twister right away. So if I do it like this, I at least clear up some of the space, and I could just use it to get that extra paint down, and hopefully it doesn't make any more holes. Yeah, there's the goal. There's the secret to this. I think I figured it out. Again, rather than just doing this and then squeezing all the way from the beginning, what you want to do is try to squeeze the paint down beforehand without, adding any extra pressure and damage that this can cause, to avoid holes. I don't know, I'll have to test it out on future painting tool experiments. I feel like there's always better ways to do things, but let's go like this. We're going to take a palette knife for this color. I just feel like using a palette knife right now. And let's go right here. Let's cut off a nice little slice. Let's cut off a nice little slice of our color right here. And let's just go with this into the brown here. The one thing about painting with a palette knife is you come up with these really fantastic, thick, thick colors. There we go. Okay. And let's see where this goes. It's starting to feel, for some reason right now, it's starting to feel like some sort of cartoon. Like a, oh, by the way, the size of this is, I think it's 18 by 24. So it's 18 inches by 24 inches. That's the size of this. And let's see, where should we go? What's another good color here? Let's go build up our white around here. You know what, white? Do we want to do white? Let's continue on. Let's bring in some of the white right here. Well, we blend it together. Blend our white together right here in this little section. And I think some of our other areas need a little bit more. So we can actually bring a little bit of this yellow into here. keep building this up. I don't know where this is going. These aren't faces. These aren't clouds. These aren't anything specific as much as just this exploration of adding color to a colored canvas via oil paint. And another thing I like about painting this in this way, of like this improvisational way, is what's going on. Kudosara, Kudosora. What's going on, dude? Yeah, 18 by 24. It looks, you know, it's funny. These canvases usually look bigger on camera than they do in person. I mean, I guess this is a fairly large canvas because it looks like it's like, you know, a big portion of my body. But when you're actually like standing here, it's doable. You know, it's a workable canvas that is totally workable. And when I mean workable, I don't want. I mean, it's not a small canvas. It's a medium to a large size canvas. But when I mean workable, I mean like, you know, you don't need a ladder or anything to mess around with it. I don't need to like move my body or anything too far. Which when I paint on the bigger canvases that are like 24 by 36, I definitely have to move around quite a lot more. So yeah, but what's going on? Kuro Sora. I hope you're having a fantastic new year, and if it has not been fantastic, you know, I just hope that it gets better for you. You have somebody wishing you the best. I'll never forget, one time I was live streaming and somebody came into my live stream just to say, "Hey, what's up, King?" And then they left. I tried to like engage them in conversation right after, but I was like, you know, that actually feels pretty good, right? That's kind of cool to just like be like, someone just call you King and then leave. Now, you know, that's not something that ever happens in real life, which I think is the really interesting thing about live streaming is there are people when you're painting in person that will like come up and talk to you, but like, you know, I think it removes the pressure that someone just random might just have of like, you know, maybe they just want to watch, maybe they're just bored, or they just want to be entertained and just see what happens from your painting. But in person, you know, I think when we paint in person, people are like constantly on the move. Rarely is anyone just out for a walk and expecting to see somebody painting on the street. So I definitely think that live streaming creates a unique experience for people to be able to just pop in and watch. So I'm doing all of these with this brush in a downward stroke. I made this entire canvas, just left this blue color by painting across. So I decided that this one, for these, I'm going to go ahead and use just a downward stroke, just to see where it goes. Not painting very fast or anything. And let's figure this out. Where is this next section? What should we do next? No, I should clean this brush off first. So hey, Kat.
Hey, happy New Year.
I'm streaming.
Good.
I don't know if you got my text.
No, but I told Molly.
Yeah, I texted you that I was streaming.
Oh, you gave them their snowman.
Yeah, was I not supposed to?
No, I'm glad you did. I forgot. Hi.
Okay.
Cuties.
What can we do with these colors?
Hi.
I like this like palette that we have, just the white, brown, and yellow.
babies. Hi.
And what if we just push the boundaries of this palette right here? Let's go. Let's take more of this yellow.
Thank you. Hi, Simba. Hi, babies. Hi. Hi, bird. What you making? Ooh, cool. Clouds. In a smoggy.
I literally just said that it's not. I'm not making clouds or anything.
That's what it looks like.
That's what it looks like. All right. Let's
Why did
see.
you cover up the hole down here?
What do you mean? Why did I cover up the hole?
Why didn't you? The hole is not covered.
The one on the right, he can't get through. It's too small. He's never gotten.
Sure?
He's never gotten through that hole.
Okay. Hi, baby.
And I can already tell that this isn't going to be the brush that I use for the whole time for this because, as you could tell, it's very streaky. It doesn't create like a nice smooth effect, which isn't necessarily a bad thing for this what I'm doing right now, but.
In here, yeah. All right, well, everything's clean. I got everything done. I'm gonna still have to be back out to some. I'll pick up dinner on the way home.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Oh, kitty litter. Hi.
Hey, what's up, Amizu? How are you? Yes, it's been a minute, man. Notice you're getting some progress on your kids book illustration. That's pretty cool. I didn't notice if that was like the first stream of yours that you did like that, or whether you've been doing lots like that. But dude, you got an amazing setup, man. What have I been using? Interesting question. I actually use this. I'll show you. So it's a Japanese hair product that comes in a pouch. And I can't read it. I don't know if you can read Japanese. So if you want to translate some of this in Japanese, feel free to if you actually read Japanese. I'm guessing omizu is a Japanese word. But let's see. Yeah, it's got seawater in it. That's kind of cool. It's got seawater. I don't know how that works. Like they just pull it straight from the ocean or something. But Umi no uru oiso. Umi no uru iso. Uiso. Uro o iso. So yeah, just a Japanese brand pouch. But I find it so funny because like when I think of a pouch, I think of just like a bad brand. I don't know. Like I feel like it's a weird packaging to have for shampoo, but it works great. I thought it was gonna be annoying, but it definitely does a great job of cleaning my hair. And I just do this like I don't wash my hair every day. I don't know if that helps. I wash it like twice a week, maybe.
Are these here to go out to the
So I actually put those there. Not right now. They will go in the garbage if someone doesn't want them. I don't know, I posted it on a group.
Oh, I see.
So if somebody responds within like the next day or two, I'll probably start dumping it.
They're just the cases.
Yeah. Umi, united is sea. Oh, so you do know. Oh, so you can't read Japanese, but you probably understand when you can read the English translations or the English letters. I'm guessing is that the case here? Let's find a nice soft brush here that we can use to just blend some of our pieces. All right, here's a nice brush that I bought recently. This is a Blick Master Stroke brush. Bought this a little while ago. It's a filbert, but let's just use this to just like blend some of our colors together. I just feel like blending, just creating a nice soft look. Very, go for a Rothko soft look. You know, one thing that I do quite often that is a habit of mine that doesn't lend itself to like super fine detail painting is that I use lots of paint. Maybe, definitely I use a lot, way too much paint. Because as you can see, the amount of paint that like you would probably layer with is just these really, you could take this one tiny little bit of paint and this could go so far. Like this could spread yellow so far. And just by that, you can tell that a little paint goes a long way. But the way I paint, I use very thick amounts of paint.
Some cuddles?
And when I use very thick amounts of paint, you know, that creates a totally different effect. And you can really, I don't know, it's just different. Not saying better or worse, just different, you know. Yeah, the blue layer's dry. I did this like 3 days ago. I did the blue layer like 3 days ago, and I used a lot of mineral spirits just to have it on here. So the blue layer's gotten totally dry, and you know, now I just have the opportunity to just play on top of it. So I didn't know what I was gonna do today. So we're just gonna go with, you know, just going with like a nice subtle hazy painting style. Maybe a little bit mixed with color, like a hazy painting style. We'll see how that goes. Just go for that Rothko haze, as I call it.
Did you guys eat the treats? Did you put the treats in the snowman?
Yes.
And they got it out?
They got them all out.
Pookie and Scout did?
I don't know who was involved. I left it on the floor and then I didn't do anything.
Imagine it was Simba.
Huh?
Can't imagine it was Simba. It's not that smart. How are you, baby?
But yes, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I know Mizu probably knows what I'm talking about, but you know, for those of you that do know, so I call this a Rothko haze, but after Mark Rothko, one of my favorite large abstract artists, and he does these really simple one or two tone paintings that just have like this haze to them. It's like a hazy color. Somehow he just creates this like large canvas that's just this like beautiful hazy design. And I don't even know if that's the right word. It's just, I think the real curatorial word is just two-tone. But the way he does it, it's just like creates this like energy on the surface that's like, it's just an energy. It's amazing how he's able to create some energy. You got food poisoning. Oh, dang. All right, man. Well, I hope you're getting better from that. Thank you for sharing that you're okay. Amber alert. Uh-oh. Got an Amber alert. A child abduction emergency. So for those of you here, there is an Amber alert. Let's see if I can get the details out. Maybe I can help contribute to the rescue of this child. Let's see. Why does it say... What? Amber alert. The city, California Highway Patrol, Los Angeles, Orange, Ventura. The abduction of a 14-year-old. 14-year-old, 5'5", 100 pounds. Brown eyes, brown hair. Abducted by a 59-year-old suspect in a California license plate 6ZMY987. If seen, call 911. It's a 2013 black Dodge Caravan. So, trying to help the California Highway Patrol do this live stream. crazy that these things still happen. You think that like all the cameras and stuff would be enough to deter people, but people just don't care. You said you said he used different types of paint to achieve those surfaces? That's good to know. If you have any insight on specifically what kinds, feel free to share. I would definitely spend some time one day to do more research. But as far as I was able to find out, you know, anytime I see any of his paintings online, it's just categorized as an oil painting. So I always thought that the majority of the paintings were done in oil. And you know, I can actually see that because of the way, you know, oil creates this blending of color. It's just really powerful. And it's so great at creating this mood. By the way, so Omizu, you said that, or Corey, you said that you got suspect pork poisoning. Now, out of curiosity, when you say suspect pork, is that because you bought it from somewhere, or like you opened it and just didn't smell right? And you know, how's your wife doing? I imagine that she probably ate dinner with you. Did she get? I hope she's doing okay too. Did she get sick as well? Or maybe it's only you that ate it. You know, it's interesting. I got some oil watercolors for Christmas, but I don't know if watercolors really work on this. Let me see. Let me see if I can mix colors.
Mixing oil and water?
Yeah. Oh, that sounds stupid, right? Huh?
What have you heard about that?
Can't mix oil and water, but that's like for cooking. What about for painting?
I don't know. Google. Look it up.
I don't know. I don't really want to mess up these brushes though. I want to keep the things separate.
Yeah, when I used to paint houses, you don't use the same brushes for oil that you use for water-based paint.
Hmm?
When I was painting houses, you had to use different brushes for water-based and oil-based.
Mm.
Hi.
Do we have any glue?
What kind of glue?
Just any glue.
That's where it is. It's a search.
Had it for a while before you cooked it, but when you opened it, it didn't smell off, so you used it. Your wife was fine. Okay, that's
There's
good.
a stomach flu going around.
Stomach flu going around where?
Everywhere.
Everywhere?
Yes.
So according to Kathleen, there's a stomach flu going around everywhere.
Internet says.
Do we have a lot of magazines anywhere? No, we threw all the magazines away, huh? Huh? We threw away all our cool stuff.
It's decluttering day, remember?
Yeah, I know.
I thought you wanted it.
I did until like I was like, oh, let me make them into an art piece.
Yeah, sometimes on the career stuff, people say, well, what if I never use it? You're going to throw it out, and no one uses it.
Could have been that. Yes. Alright, let's go. I want to lay down a bunch of white here, so we're just going to take a nice big chunk of white. Just bring it down. Bring these chunks of white.
Viewers missed it.
Probably.
Say.
Nope. And let's see. Let's do that. Let's go ahead and take this brush. Just gonna brush up this white, and we're just gonna create this like this brown color. Why not? See where this goes. Just allowing the paint to just spread itself. I might need some oil to loosen it up. Let me see. I need to loosen up this paint a little bit. It's a little bit too thick, just straight from the tube. So I'm gonna drop a little bit of oil right here, a little bit of oil right here, a little bit of oil right here, straight onto the canvas here, just to loosen up the paint a little bit. It's a little bit too, just too dense. It's not spreading as well. And that's very helpful. There we go. Oil paint. You know, here's the best thing I think about Mark Rothko is like he was able to, as far as a creative spirit goes, you know, I really feel like Mark Rothko's work is really special and unique because, you know, as someone who paints live stream, I always feel like I have to do more. I always feel like I can't just, you know, just paint like a flat painting, and that it has to be like something totally, you know, it has to like make sense. I have to make sense of something, and I think that that's a pressure that comes from, you know, not just myself, but also the fact that I do these live streams, and where I think Mark Rothko, you know, I feel like for him to come up with that design and to just be able to get known for it, and not just that celebrityness, but to be able to become a highly successful painter who was able to create a design so simple yet so striking and interesting. He's able to do it for, you know, however many years before his tragic death. I feel, you know, he didn't have that. He was able to overcome that feeling. There was a bigger purpose for him, I think. That feeling of, you know, this painting. He probably thought like, hey, this painting style is bigger than just. I don't need to do more, right? So I feel like that's a really like powerful. I don't want to say message from his painting because I don't know what his paintings were trying to message. I know he was very accepted, very respected in the church, in various churches, but as like a religious artist, I guess a lot of people saw his art as religious, and I think he was a very religious guy. But religion aside, I feel like, you know, in order to keep a painting simple, in order to just let a painting be, rather than having to feeling like you have to do more, you really have to overcome a lot of self limitations to do less. Like, you know, Andy Warhol, he just painted. I mean, I think he's another great example, right? All he did was Campbell's soup tomato cans. Didn't reinvent anything. Or I guess he reinvented the tomato soup can, but, you know, he kept it simple. He didn't paint anything around. He didn't paint it in any crazy environment. He just painted it. So, pretty brilliant. But I think a lot of that has to come from, you know, overcoming an ego that makes you feel like you have to do more. You have to do more. You have to do a certain thing. So this is just oil in here, nothing fancy. I use walnut oil, in case anybody's wondering. I use walnut oil because I didn't want to use linseed oil. most things use a linseed oil. I was like, you know, when I was like choosing between linseed oil and walnut oil, I decided to just go with walnut oil. There's a lot of oils you can use. Sunflower oil, walnut oil, linseed oil, safflower oil. I think you use pretty much any like oil. But I think so they all have like different effects. I think I read that walnut oil has less of a yellowing effect over time, or maybe it was less flammable. I don't remember exactly why I chose walnut oil at the beginning. But you know what? I've gotten into the habit of it. I'm not totally opposed to switching to other oils. I also think the drying time is quite long on walnut oil as well. But I like this, where this is going. You haven't tried walnut oil yourself? Yeah. So as far as all the different oils are concerned,
He's sliding on the bar.
which drop will go faster? All right, this right drop's going. This right drop's going. All right. Oh, looks like this one drop might catch up. That drop. Wow, look at how fast these drops are going. Who wants to bet on oil drop races? $1, $1, starting at $1, $1. Going to $500 on number 2. Oil droplet number 2 going down. $500 on oil drop number 2. Do we have 1,000 on oil drop number 2? Nobody wants to bet $1,000 on oil droplet number 2. Can anybody even see the oil droplets? Here we go. So I just dripped oil. All the oil does is to help it spread a little bit better. And I think at the end, once it all dries, it's going to have a glossiness. But this is not the final piece. I don't know. I really just wanted to paint today, no matter what I came up with. And I think it really helps on a creative level to sometimes do paintings like this, where it's just like so simple, abstract. It doesn't take an absurd amount. I don't want to say absurd amount of time, but it doesn't take too much time, and you know, you don't put too much pressure on yourself to make it look like something, to make it look like, or not to make it look like something, but to have to like make it too technical or whatever. I find this very helpful. On a mental level, like on my personal mental, creative mental level, as well as you know, an artistic. I think you can learn a lot from some of these really simple pieces, doing things very simply. Can't see them? Oh, you can't see the actual drops? Alright. Well, maybe next time.
Oh, the whole time? Oh. Okay, great. Thank you. You to the gym?
No, I did not.
You want to go?
No, I'm painting.
There you are.
Huh?
I didn't say right this second.
You know what? Let's flip this and we're going to go sideways with this. It's funny, it looks so much smaller when we flip it at this angle. It's so much smaller. And you know what? Let's go... I want to do something up top here that establishes like a border. Let's go with this brush. I'm just going to go with this, our Van Dyke brown here. It's going to go down, straight down, and create this like border here. Here we go. Oh, and you know what Mark Rothko also does that's really smart is he doesn't always like cover the whole like canvas, I think, or he does it in a way where it looks like, because I paint to the edge, so it looks like there's like all this like, just like looks like there's an end to this, but somehow he creates this massive painting and it looks like there's still more to be seen, for lack of a better term. I'd have to look at it again, but I think what he does is he colors the whole canvas, or maybe he leaves some of it open, and then he like creates this like edge around one of the colors. And again, I'm not necessarily going for Rothko. I was just trying to create some of his like experiment with some of his haziness as far as that look is concerned, but not necessarily trying to recreate anything that he does. Other than some of the ideas that you can adopt from seeing his paintings. Just that, what is the effect on the human eye, on the human view of a painting that's like hazy? It's really powerful. It's like mysterious, you know, it creates this sense of mystery, this sense of the unknown. A lot of layers, yeah. I can imagine that. So Corey, what do you think about Mark Rothko? What are your thoughts on Mark Rothko? I'm going to take this blender brush that has somewhat lost its shape, and we're just going to go. Let's just go in with this. Problem with blender brushes is they lose their texture quite fast. I'm not liking this effect right now. Actually, you know what? It's not that bad. Kind of like the strokiness that's happening. It's like a wispiness that's coming from this brush. This could be a good brush for like shrubbery. So I did see one. I've seen two Rothkos. They were at a nearby museum at the Norton Simon Museum out here in Pasadena. And actually, that's when I first discovered Rothko, and was just like fascinated by it. But you know, it also helps. Like, I think what also helps with appreciating some works is, you know, some works just aren't as impactful unless they're just like huge, right? Some works just like don't feel as like awe-inspiring, and that's the thing with Mark Rothko's paintings, is they're like massive. I don't know how tall they are. Usually, I want to say they're like 8 feet or more. And there's just something about that large painting size that creates a sense of awe, especially if it's done well. Especially if it's done well. We all know that, right? Like, we've all looked at a massive painting. Although I have heard that some people were amazed at how small the Mona Lisa was. I think Kat, have you ever seen the Mona Lisa in person?
Yes, I have.
You have? And it's small, right?
Yeah, it's very small.
It's like just a little, I think it's even smaller than this, right? It's probably...
Yeah, it's about that size.
Alexa, how big is the Mona Lisa?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, the Mona Lisa is 30 inches by 21 inches. By the way, you have 2 new notifications.
Alexa off. Okay, so 20 by 30, so this is 18 by 24, so yeah, fairly close to this. It's a little bit bigger. So yeah, I mean, some people have said the Mona Lisa is a small painting, and you know what, it's 20 by 30. This is 18 by 24, and you know, so if that's small, then this is pretty small as well. But I guess, you know, on one level, you know, people expect the Mona Lisa to be this grand painting, but at the end of the day, it's just this brilliantly executed portrait. I mean, more than just brilliant, right? Leonardo da Vinci was one of the first geniuses of society, and still recognized as one of the greatest geniuses, most highly ranked geniuses who ever lived. But that aside, it's an absolute brilliant portrait. But the criticism was that it's a small painting, is what I've heard. For some reason I thought it was even going to be smaller than what she says, 20 by 30, the way the guy made it sound. But I don't know, I've never seen the Mona Lisa in person. I never really thought about what to expect of how big or small it was. I don't really have any expectation there. But I'd like to see them in person. So, Corey, what's like the most awe-inspiring painting you have seen in person? Or like, you know, a style that really stood out? I mean, I think we can all, in a sense, appreciate like just like a good classical piece, but like, is there anything that like stands out as when you saw it in person, you're just like, wow, this is amazing? By the way, as far as instruction goes, honestly, I don't have a specific thing I'm doing. I'm just looking at it, and I'm just, you know, just experimenting with the brush, just see how I can push these colors around, move them around, and just seeing what sort of designs I can create on this canvas. That's what I'm really doing. There's no like specific technical skill I can pinpoint as far as beyond just wanting to put paint on the canvas. So let's do this. Let me go with some blue. I've decided that I want to bring in some blue here. Got a nice Prussian blue. Actually, you know what? Let's go with our ultramarine. I don't want to use Prussian blue right now. Basquiat and Gerhard Richter. And you felt that the Basquiat's painting was very, very inspiring. Yeah, one thing I love, I've seen, I saw Basquiat's show out here in Los Angeles, and I was totally blown away at how his paintings look in person. Like there's just this quality about them that just like looks so crisp and modern. That just makes them so interesting. And then I remember, so the one painting that I was like just blown away by is, I actually had I have a keychain of it, but it's not here near my keys. The keychain actually fell off, and I just leave it in my car now, but. He's able to design a face so well. There's just like layer upon layer of just like creating this really interesting face. And I just thought it was absolutely amazing. But yeah, I went to an exhibit that was like, it's called King Pleasure. It's probably like 50 of his paintings, 50 of his artworks. And I really like that exhibit. Let's see, what do we do here? Let's take some white. Go out from this. Alright, babe. See you later. Let's just go buck wild now, huh? Go buck wild with this. Do with this central piece? I don't even know. Just love the marbling that comes with when you do this like type of work. The marbling that comes with working with palette knives. As you let the oil paints top of each other. By the way, good news, everybody. We have adopted our kittens. I don't know if you've been in any of my past streams. I know Corey has, but as far as anyone else watching, we have adopted our kittens that we've had for about 6 months. Nobody wanted to adopt them. And the theory is that nobody wanted to adopt them, right, Scout? The theory that no one wanted to adopt them was that one of them was a black cat, sadly. And supposedly, especially because part of the season that he was getting adopted was Halloween. And I guess people still have superstitions. Still have superstitions about black cats. It's hard for me to understand. Like, I don't know why people have superstitions about black cats. But, it's sad. You think, I don't know, it just doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, everybody is entitled to their own opinions, I guess, right? So, here we go. Let's see what we can do from here. Let's use a brush. I got this massive brush the other day, and I still haven't used it, really. I don't even know what this is for. This is a Langnickel, Royal and Langnickel Jumbo Soft Brush. It's a very large brush. Unconventional tools. You know, besides, like, I've used tools, like I've used, the most unconventional things I've used are a sponge, which isn't too unconventional. I've used tape. So, tape, a sponge, and my hands, which I guess finger painting isn't too unconventional, and various random supplies of things. Let me see what I can do with this big old brush here, and we're just going to go into this. Let's grab some oil. We're going to drench this in a bit of oil here. Where's that oil tube that I just had? Oh wait, where is it? Put it down. Just had this big old tube of oil that I put a cap on. What did I just do with it? Couldn't have gone very far. Unless the cat stole it, which I don't think it did. Here we go. This is a brush. Alright, let's go like this. I drip a lot of oil here so that we can get a nice nice spreadable surface. Let's go create a shape here. And we're going to create another shape here. I do like where this is at right now. It's interesting. It's like this, it's almost like a desert scene, like a hazy desert scene with like this unusual abstraction in the center. I think this would be a really cool sculpture in a desert. If somehow you could just create like this cube, just like a very like a giant blue marble cube, blue and white streaked marble cube in the middle of the desert. A giant blue and white marble cube. Yeah, like it. Yeah, it feels very surrealist, I think. Let's see. Where are we going? Where do I want to go with this? Maybe I go nowhere with this. You know what's funny, people? So, and this is a little insight into what happens in my mind. Not necessarily, this isn't like a word of wisdom that I think anyone should really take too seriously what I'm about to say. But it's funny, I'm thinking of a dream that I had the other night. And the dream was basically a specific painting. I had a dream of a painting. Basically, it was like a yellow triangle with the black square in the center, and then this like blue outline, these like blue edges. And then this yellow triangle would be covered by the black square, but it would come through the black square in this like little shape. And the reason why I find that interesting right now is because basically I'm in a sense painting the same idea. I'm in a sense painting that same idea, right? Like it's got the same colors as far as the yellow. We've got, you know, these shapes. It's got like a similar layout, similar colors as to what I had. Not exactly, right? Because obviously this is Van Dyke brown and yellow and not black. This is blue in the center and not black. And I wanted blue on the outsides and it's not a yellow triangle. But I'm seeing almost what I had envisioned in the dream. But what I think is funny, and what I find this as amusing, is that I didn't necessarily follow my dream. I don't know if this is like, and again, this is just a sharing of a unusual thought, not necessarily anything that is meant to inspire or whatever, or teach. It's just some stream of consciousness here. I wonder if that's like symbolic of me not following my dream. Like if I had this, you know, I was in this like wakeful state, daydreaming, sleep dreaming, whatever you call it, and I just so vividly remember that painting that I was like, oh, I should do that. And yet here I am now, I'm making another painting, and it doesn't look anything like that. I mean, there's some elements that are similar, but it makes me wonder if, like, unconsciously, am I not following my dream? I mean, literally, I'm not following my dream. Because when I started this, I was like, oh, I could just paint that. But then as I got started, I was like, I don't really want to. So what does that say? When you have a dream about something and you don't follow it, is that not following your dream, or is it following your instinct, or what? I don't know. But maybe the dream was meant to lead me to this. Who knows? Oh, dreams. So interesting. So let's see what we can do with this. I'm going to take our white here. Well, let's take, as Omizu had mentioned, about Have I ever used any unconventional tools? This is so conventional though. What's something? I feel like a sponge is conventional. But I don't feel like the need to like go all out and like, you know, pull up a piece of carpet and try to use carpet or like paint with a twig or something. I'm trying to see if there's anything around here that I can actually use in an interesting way, and not just like well, let's just use this sponge here, and we're gonna roll it through. I'm gonna roll it through our yellow right here. So let's just see what happens here. It's like a road. It's not even coming off. It's literally just it's just sticking on. I'm literally just pulling off the paint from our. All right, that's working a little bit better. I'm trying to roll it so that it doesn't like just pull off the paint or scrape it, because if you scrape it a little bit, even if you scrape just a little bit, see, the paint's just coming off. Man, that's not working as well as I wanted it to. I had this idea that it would just like kind of roll and create this like texture, which it is. Oh, maybe I gotta go like much smoother, or maybe, you know what, instead of like being so rough with it, I should just be more gentle. Is that working? No, it's not working. A little bit. Let's see. There we go. I don't know if that really did much, except pull up some of the paint. Yo, John Clark, what's up, dude? Say Happy New Year to you too. 2025 will be great for you and I. You gotta get up in 6 hours? Yeah, get that rest, man. Hope you have a good rest. Happy New Year to you, sir. Mr. JC, John Clark. John Clark. I guess that's how they would. What country would say Clark like Clark? I guess that would be Boston, maybe. John Clark. All right. I'm not liking where this is going with the with our sponge. So let's see what happens if I just pour a bunch of oil into this. Let me just soak this in oil and just see what happens. What about some oil and water? I don't know. I'm not too convinced that'll be a good idea. I'm gonna soak this a little bit. Pookie! Go the other way. Go! Go! They always like stay up here, pretend to do something else, and then they always like come back. Good. Go up. Keep your tail away from the painting. By the way, I'm not keeping them away from my painting because I'm so precious with my painting. It's just that some of the stuff that I use on here, oil paint, cadmium, mineral spirits, it's not good for them. So I do my best to like keep them away. Let's see, what can we... Go. Do not come to the paint, young kitten. Let's see what happens. Let's try to paint with a rag here. Clack. Pookie, if you come by the painting one more time, I'm gonna take you off the table. Do you hear me? Don't pretend like you're gonna stop. Pookie, go away. Pookie, come here. Get it. Get it. Get it. Okay. All right. So let's see. Just looks like a mess now, huh? Let's see. Where can this go? Let's see what happens. Can you erase it like a eraser board? No, I guess you can't, huh? Comes of this. You know, one thing I've learned, whenever I make messy paintings like this, I always think, oh, well, I used to think like, oh, well, you know, some of these artists, like, you know, Jackson Pollock is the best example. Right? He just threw paint around. But the more I like study artwork, some really interesting pieces like Jackson Pollock's, you know, even though it looks like they were doing that type of stuff, they really were very, very, very specific about how they did things. Like, if you ever look at Vincent van Gogh, he's a perfect example, you know. I think a lot of people think Impressionists and people like Vincent were just like, just crazily, just like put paint everywhere, you know what I mean? And, you know, for the art people out there who have studied them, you know that's not the case. But I'm just sharing my consciousness and becoming aware of these things. You know, he didn't do that, you know. He might have been a fast painter, but, like, a lot of his strokes are very precise. And, like, you know, he knew where he was laying them down. And even, you know, more recently I've been looking at a lot of Francis Bacon paintings. And I think it's interesting to look at Francis Bacon. And, you know, you look at Francis Bacon, you go, oh, look, he just, like, took a face and then smeared it. But then you, like, look at his paintings, the rest of his painting, and it is, like, you know, this combination of just, like, technical brilliance along with, like, a good technical skill along with very good, very good and very specific, I don't want to call them smushing, but for lack of a better term, I'm just going to say very specific smushing of faces. So here we go. We've got this chaos here. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I might just leave it as an underpainting for a future idea. But I don't know. It's nice to get back to painting today. I hope everybody is able to watch this, is able to take from this. Not necessarily that you have to do something weird and unusual. break out of a creative slump. Oh wow, I can see a face here. I feel like I should start painting what I see here as a face. Let me bring out some black. Bring out my Von Hoch black here. And let's see, we're gonna go into this. Actually, black's probably not even the best color to do here. Just fill in this space right here. I don't know what's going on. And let's go, I'm just gonna bring in a lot of black here. Bring in this black. I like to call anything that's like a face that doesn't really make sense some form of self-portrait. Like, I'm almost tempted to just call this a self-portrait. Haven't quite figured out how to work out this little section right here, what to do with it. What we're gonna do right here. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like where this is at. And it would actually help, I think, if I was like, if I came in with a very specific idea in mind. But because I'm going with something experimental, I think it makes it an improvisational. Kind of does make it a little bit harder. Oh, here's something interesting. So, I was listening to this book the other day. I highly recommend it. But it's called Talking to Strangers. It's written by Malcolm Gladwell. And I haven't listened to the whole book yet. I'm in like the fourth chapter right now. And it's basically a book. It's basically a book that talks about why it's so hard to read strangers, at least up till now. And one of the fun ideas that came from the book is one of the ideas in the book is this, based on this research project, where what you would do, and you can play along here, is you would fill in a bunch of blanks. So like, let's say, and I'm totally making this up, this isn't how it's presented in the book, but what word do you think of when you think SL blank blank? What word do you think of when you think GR blank blank? What word do you think of when you think ST blank blank P? Again, totally making those words up. That's not how it's presented. But basically what happened was, in a research study, they had a bunch of people do it, and when asked the question, do you feel like you can analyze yourself based on what you wrote? So some people might like write the words like gloom or doom or sad, while others might write like words like glad or happy or like conquer or whatever. And the idea was that some of these people, when asked the question, do you feel like you can interpret your personality from this research, the people who actually who are analyzing their own words, they would say, no, I don't think I can. Like, it's not a true reflection of who I am. But anytime, almost every single time, if they were given the question, other people's research, other people's words, they would instantly come up with assumptions about that person. So it's just a really interesting research study how, like, those of you watching, you probably have all these assumptions about me based on this work. And although me personally, I mean, I guess I do too, but it's just interesting to think about how people can view you versus how you present yourself, or like some of your unconscious or instant reactions at yourself might be totally interpreted differently from somebody else. I find that really interesting, but it's in the book. It's better explained in the book, what do you call it? Talking to Strangers by Malcolm Gladwell. And again, the research was really insightful as to, you know, how we view ourselves when interpreting information that we present. Like, you know, when we unconsciously choose words and then say, oh no, these words aren't reflective of who I am as a person. But as soon as we see somebody else's, even if we were asked the same exact question right after, if we see somebody else's words, I mean, you instantly start to assume things about them. And it's just such interesting behavior that that was observed in this research project, to see that the same exact question presented on self versus other creates a totally different experience. It's a really, really interesting idea to me. But a little geeky there, huh? Who's geeky when it comes to that type of stuff? Go ahead and bring down this yellow here. Let me go yellow. This is a version of what I had dreamt about. A version of it. And let's grab this again. Oh, did I use this to paint the black? I think I used this to paint the black. I'll have to grab this blue here. By the way, I find this as an interesting opportunity to share both my wins and my failures. So I had applied for an art show and I didn't get in. So there's a fun update for people. Some of my successes and failures. I had an art show in November that I got into, but I did not get into this one that's coming up in October. Or in, what am I saying, October? In February. I didn't get into an art show that's coming up in February. So, failures and successes. So this is just actually a version of what I had dreamt about, which was basically a really bright yellow triangle. Really bright yellow triangle coming through the sky surrounding a black square surrounded by blue. And just now I made the conscious decision to just follow that dream that I had about it and paint it. So up till now it was pretty improvisational, but this part right here is actually something that I had already thought of in a dream. Just tightening it up here. What is this? I guess this is the foundation of a future painting. I saw this Instagram the other day, and it was saying one thing that artists don't share on their social media enough is just looking. You know, just looking at your own painting, just like thinking, like, what the heck? What is going on? That's kind of what I feel like doing right now. And I just want to look at this. I don't know what to think about it. Like, what would actually make it look better? Like, I have to ask myself the question, why did the image of this idea pop into my mind while I was asleep? And honestly, it's probably no reason. It's probably no, like, profound reason, right? But it is interesting to think about, like, how these ideas just randomly pop in your head sometimes. And again, I'm not thinking of that in this like profound calling sense as much as it is this like, how did it come about? Why? What was it that inspired me to make this painting? Or not this painting in general altogether, but just this specific design that I had right now that I had in mind was a black square in the center with a blue around the side, and then this like yellow triangle coming from up above and then like cutting through the square here. And I think the best way to have made it is with tape and acrylic, because acrylic works really well. You let it dry and you could just get on with your painting. But I don't have acrylic paints. I probably will get some someday. But for now, I just love oil paints. I just love oil paints for most. Oh, I should probably just leave this. Love the way oil paints work. What do I do? What should I do now? I feel like I just want to look at it. Just look at a painting. Huh. What to do? I'm looking at myself in a mirror. I have like this, my computer screen over here to my left, and it's like creating like this perfect reflection of me. It's creating like this perfect reflection that would be interesting to paint. I'm trying to think if I should just do a self-portrait right now. Might have to get another canvas. Be right back. Working on pulling out a new canvas right now. New set of canvases. mess being made in the kitchen. All right. Ugh. Oh, that's cool. So I just got these new canvases from US Art Supply. You can actually put your name on the back. Cotton canvas, archival quality, acid-free, all media, 20 by 24. Put your title, artist, medium, signature, date. That's pretty cool. I like that. It's a good idea. This is a 12-pack. Do not separate. So I do trust US Art Supply for canvases. I just did a review earlier about this company versus another one, and I do say I am happy with the style of canvas they make, the quality of canvas they make. Cookie, what are you looking at? Anyone ever have cats that just stare at things and you're like, what are they staring at? It's really creepy. They're just staring into the abyss and you don't know what it is. Alright, let's, I'm going to swap this one out for now. Let's bring this around. Put this somewhere. I don't know what's going to happen to that piece. I'm sure I'll paint over it at some point. Let's bring this down. Just a notch. Right. It's stuck. Honestly, I should probably bring this. Let's see. Making these sounds to figure out the whether this is going to work as far as height goes for my painting. Let's go. Alright, let's bring that down like that. Should be good enough. It's wild how if you paint a lot, like I think I'm gonna probably need to get a new probably gonna need to buy a new canvas soon. So yeah, this is the US Art Supply canvas. There's a little thing up here, but that's not too bad. Usually these canvases are pretty good. It feels pretty sturdy. Archival quality. I mean, that's really all we can really ask for, right? So I have my computer right over here, and it's got a black screen, and I think it's a perfect mirror for a it's a perfect mirror for a for a self-portrait. I do a lot of self-portraits. So let's start with wish it was bigger though. Wish I had like a more just like right in my face portrait. Right in my face a mirror. Maybe if I rotate this a little bit. I stand closer, like right here. Actually, I can bring it closer to me. What am I doing? So bring this closer. And there we go. All right, I think that's a good size that we can work with. So let's go for a little self-portrait here, some self-portraiture. This will be an unusual color because it's on a black mirror. The mirror, my reflection from my laptop computer screen. And the light's behind me, I don't know. If you're doing a portrait for someone, it's always good to try to get the best lighting, to, you know, be very specific about things. But when it comes to doing portraits for myself, I love the idea of like experimentation. I'm just going with like all sorts of different designs and stuff, whether it be like something in good lighting or whatever. So because of that, let's just see what happens. We're gonna mess with this, and you know what? I need to rotate it. Actually, no, I can also raise this a little bit. Let's do that. Okay. Let's see, how do I want to handle this? And the right brush. Pookie, you're lucky there's no paint on, really much paint on this canvas yet, so it's the only reason I'm letting you stay for now. Alright, Pookie, you get it? Look at this little Pookie right here. I'm trying to leave her scent on this painting. Just leaving your scent, just like that, huh? Alright, and then we're gonna go with this. I'm gonna go with this green. Pookie, you can't be here. Why do you always want to be here when I'm painting, huh? Pookie, go away. Psst, hey, do not get into the habit of rubbing your scent on my paintings. And for the record, people, it's totally okay now because there's no paint on here. But I don't like it. I don't think it's good for them when they get paint on them. So, you know, I gotta find a way. I can't really stop them. But I already lost my position of where I'm at. So, yes, I'm painting myself with green here. Very experimental because that is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing myself as this green person. And let's bring in, let's do this. Just a little bit of, I don't have any red. Let's grab some blue here. Get some of the shapes. How did I, oh, there we go. There's the shape. All right, let's go with this. Grab some of our brown and really get into the hair here. Hair is going to be the easiest. And the thing about sometimes I think about like portraits is you can't really paint. You need to paint them in like one sitting, I think, because especially today, you know, you don't really have like the luxury of keeping the same exact situation multiple days in a row. You know, unless you know you're hiring like a professional model, but then in that case, like, you know, you're not really doing a portrait of someone, you're just creating a painting of a professional model. I think portraits should be done in no more than a couple sittings. Pookie, you gotta go. You gotta go, girl. You gotta go. She must be so confused as to why I don't like her to hang out with me while I'm painting. But anyway, here we go. We're gonna go down here, create a much more subtle curve into here. Look very European right there in this portrait right here. A European artist. All right, let's find another brush. All these brushes have been so used. Let me see. I'm gonna use this. Go down with some highlights. Grab this white here. Just add a little bit of highlight into the hair. And then we're going to go with this yellow, this white yellow. Let's go with the white yellow. I think this painting actually makes me look like an artist with this like mustache. Here we go. Wow. All right. It's looking good. Oh, I can already see some dimensional issues. I need to make my nose a little bit bigger and longer. This needs to go like right there. Pookie. Can't just rip stuff up. I need some red in here too. Let's grab rather than red, let's do an orange. Okay, we're going to take this white here, start to bring in some highlights right around the neck here. So we're going to bring this down, and we're going to go right underneath. Got some neck right there. Grab some of this blue, grab some of this black. We've got our shadow area right here, so we're going to mix some of our white into this section here. Our white, gray, black section right into here. And here we go. So bring in some of this black here. Just continue going down here. And then let's go with this like green color that I have. How did I get that green color? I don't even know, because it's like a mix of this yellow with our black, our brown. So I need this arm to go just extend outwards here. Grab some more yellow. There we go. And then grab this blue, scratch this blue, and I got this let's grab a little bit of this orange yellow, go into neck here. I'm going to grab grab this yellow, orange, go with some blue here. Try to find a color. You can't really see my lips, but I feel like I need to add them somehow. And here we go. We're going to keep going with this blue color into our shadows right up here. Ah, that's a little too dark. It's not going to work with the rest of this. Because it blends in with the eyebrows a little too much, is what I'm thinking. What is this color? This green. And let's go like this. And let's go, what should I do, Let's cover the background here. I'm gonna go with, I'm gonna take this brush that we already have. I'm just gonna spread, grab a lot of some mineral spirit. You know what, I wanna grab the color and then do the mineral spirit. Just take this color, lay it down, grab some of the brown, lay it down, mix it, maybe add some white into it. Grab some more mineral spirit. This is the type of painting you make when you haven't painted in 2 weeks. I want my green. I don't know. I don't like this green color. You know, I wish there wasn't like assumptions of things when you people's like automatic interpretations of color. Like anytime we see something green makes someone look sick, so therefore, me leaving this kind of makes it look like a sick painting. It's horrible. I know this color palette is horrible, by the way, but that's what you do when you I guess that's not what you have to do, but experimentation here. Always trying different ways of doing things. I'm not sure I like where this is at, but sometimes paintings take you to places you don't know where to go. Let's see. What should I do? I should clean this. Let me clean off some of these brushes before I move on to the next phase here. So we're gonna clean off a lot of these brushes. Let's clean them off. All right, next brush. Hair. And here we go. Let's see, let's clean off this one. Okay, that's another brush down. Let's see, what happens? Maybe we could use whatever this blue is on this brush and just give it a little extra pop of color. Actually, you know what? Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm gonna give this extra pop of color right here, just into the space right here. Yo, what's up, Mark Dietz? How you doing? Happy New Year's, dude. Happy New Year. Hope you had the opportunity to celebrate. What's going on with you? Earlier I was talking about how I had been meeting a lot of people lately. And, I find it interesting. Like, I always ask the question, oh, how's your holidays going? I like that question. And surprisingly, a lot of people, like 1 out of 20 people, is not having a good holiday. And I talked to my partner about this, and she's like, holiday can be a really hard time for people. And it just made me realize, that fact. Sad, but, I don't always know what's going on in everyone's life, but especially during the holidays. But I don't know why I suddenly went to gloom. Didn't mean to do that. I guess I did, I did it, but yes, I have had a good holiday, but it just made me think about what other people are doing, going through, all these different things, specifically recently. But hey, we're doing a self-portrait right now, and maybe that's why. I often wonder, like the subconscious, what the subconscious reveals when in your painting. And I often wonder, like, whenever I look at my painting, I'm looking at this and I'm like, what is it trying to tell me about my subconscious? Like, why am I green? Am I green with envy? Am I green because of money? Do I feel sick and that's why I painted myself green? I mean, the real, or is it just a reflection of laziness that I didn't choose very specific colors? Or is that just a reflection of self-expression because I didn't choose any specific colors? So I do think it would be interesting activity to like have people, I don't want to say psychoanalyze, that's such like a weird term, but just like have people give their impressions as to how they feel about your artwork. So I'm in the process of cleaning off my brushes right now. But you didn't celebrate much? Hey, I went to a small party, and I can't, it wasn't a wild night out, but it was a good party. It was good people. Good people. Nice, artistic, creative people. Everybody in the room seemed to be working towards something, on something, actively creating, in the process of creating, sharing their creations. It's really interesting, I think, to be in a room at a party, a gathering with lots of creative people, because it's like, you're just totally surrounded by people that are committed to some craft, which I can only imagine, and it makes you feel like going after it, right? But I can only imagine that if you're not in that type of environment and you're this creative personality, like it's a totally different experience. Or if you were to just totally swap someone in a totally creative group, friends group, and put them in like a corporate group or an engineering group, and then you take the engineering person who's rarely in like these creative circles and put them into like a creative group, and then like what that is like, being in a place that's totally different than what you're used to. I like that idea though. I like being in places, expanding my social circles beyond the norm, which I definitely feel for these past few years. My social circles have mostly been with artists, which I'm not saying is like good or bad, but at the same time, I think as artists, we all love to think that we're very different, and that, you know, we like to have a variety of interests and creative people, but then again, at the same time, we just, does surrounding yourself with other artists necessarily mean that you're breaking the mold? Or does it mean that you're just... But then again, you know, creative personalities is so different. Wow, so cat that I adopted, she's getting orange. Getting like these beautiful little oranges and reds. She used to be just like this white and black cat, but now she's turning into a black and orange cat. That's kind of cool. I like that. Am I left-handed again? No, I guess. This is my right hand. Oh yeah, I guess it does look like my left hand, huh? Yeah, it does look like my left hand. But I'm looking at my reflection here. And it's actually my right hand. Yeah. Oh yeah, hey. Left hand. Good point. I don't really think about that. But let me bring in some... I got my orange... what colors do I want? I want a blue. I want a blue to darken. I'm going to stick and commit to this green color. I don't know why I feel like committing to it. But I will. And got our yellow. What should I do from here? Let me tighten up the face before I move on. Let me go with this right here. I'm going to grab some of this. I'm just going to shape the eye a little bit. Shape the eye. And yes, I'm using this like yellow color. No, this should be like right around down here. And here we go. Go with this reflecting totally black, so got a little bit of shadow right here. I don't know where this is going. I feel like I might have to leave this as just call it avant-garde. Call it expressionist. Maybe I should just go a bit wackier with it. This makes my neck look a little bit short, which is not the case. And let's go with clean this brush off. Have I lost it? Have I lost a positive creative touch? I feel like when I see a painting like this, I'm like, what am I doing? Why is this? Why did I pick the color green? Why did I not clean my brushes after every piece? Is this a style? Can I really call this a style, or is it actually, you know, a pure expression, pure creative output of expression, or is this just painting poorly and then trying to call it something? I have to ask that of myself. You know what I gotta do? Let's take a this yellow here. Actually, you know what? Let's grab something that I can actually. Where do this? Let's go. Grab a thin brush. Let's go like this. We're going to grab our white. I definitely think we need some. Let's use some reds. Let's see what happens. I mean, green and red are just gonna cancel each other out. If I want to do something different, let me just see what. Red, white. Red, white. How can I abstractify this? Let me see. If I go like this, grab some of this color here. Grab my favorite small brush. Get white, grab a lot of white here. Start to separate these eyes. I look horrified here. Let's see if we can revive this. Turn that smile upside down. There we go. What an awkward smile right there. Oh man, what am I doing? These are definitely very candid live stream. It's a very candid live stream right now as I share a wide variety of my thoughts and ideas and experiences. What is that guy? Who is that? Is that me? No way. That's not me. Doesn't even look like me. Alright, we're just going to take some white here. We're just going to start blending some of these areas. Okay, and let's see what we can do. Let's bring in some yellows into here. I really just want me to I don't care so much about making it look totally real as much as I do about it having a certain expression. Maybe let's see what happens. Grab this white, and then grab this yellow here. And I think it needs red. How do we do this? I should grab this black. see. Cookie, what are you doing? In this area, let's clean up. Oops, I'm gonna go clean that up right there. Scout, you waiting for something? And let's go. Let's fill this in. Let's fill this in nice and blue. What's up, pal? Everybody, okay, so now's the time for a break. We're gonna show everybody our cat. Anybody want to see a cat? I know everybody wants to see cats. So this is the cat we adopted today. Or actually, we adopted him yesterday. We've been fostering him. We've been fostering this little guy for about 6 months now. Nobody wanted to adopt him and his sister together. But he's the sweetest little guy. Still a kitten. Just an absolutely sweet little cat. And it's sad nobody picked him up. Right, Scout? What's up, buddy? Look at them. Make these cute faces toward the camera, huh? Yes. So we fostered him and then we adopted him. It's been 6 months. Nobody wanted this guy. I didn't get one call in 6 months for this cat. Sadly. But we took him to a couple of shelter events to where people could just like, look how sweet he is. My goodness, he's the sweetest guy. He is the nicest, sweetest cat. And nobody wanted him and get a single call. Like, I guess it's hard because like you can't really see cats' personalities through just like one little photo. Like I try to explain, and it's also sad because we took him to a shelter event, and we try to say like this cat will just literally just fall asleep in your arms. I think he just farted, but excuse me, I got an itch in my nose. But I try to say that, you know, this cat just falls asleep in your arms, but it turns out that like when you try to do it at a shelter event, he doesn't like to be held like this by any random person. So what's up with your eyeballs? Eyeballs have gotten all goopy. Eyeballs are goopy, bro. Gotta do a better job grooming. It's on your eyes. Needs to do a better job grooming, but look at him. It's like you don't want to let him go. Just wanna little stinky cats. The other thing about black cats is they get really dusty. And it's like very noticeable when they get dusty. But look, they just like, when you talk about colorful cats though, I mean, you know, when you see an orange cat, you just think like an orange cat. But if you ever look at a black cat, like just look at all this variety of color along his fur. Like in certain lights, he looks blue. In of course, there's definitely just the pitch blackness of his fur sometimes, and then, you know, with the right lighting, it brings out the white in his features. It's cute. Look at this little guy. This guy. What's that? What do you want, guy? Huh? He's a show cat for sure. He needs to be a movie star. Scout, you need to be a movie star. You know that you can be a movie star, pal. You want to be a movie star? Yes? No? Okay. Ow! Hey! That's not nice. What, dude? Want to get down? Okay, let go of my shirt, bro. Dude, let go of my shirt. Okay, there you go. Good. Alright. I think that's it. He's had enough. I think he's had enough of show. I think he's trying to get away from show business right now. Kitten needs a break. So today, I would say that I made 2 bad paintings. But I don't want to say I made bad paintings as much as it was picking poor choices. In the sense of, so my poor choice was that I used a computer screen. Let me show you what my reference was. My poor choice for this one was using a computer screen. And of course this computer screen is black, so any reflection of it is like this really awkward color. And you know, I made the poor choice of picking green as the main color. It just doesn't look good. It's like this yellow green puke color. So poor choice there. And then on my other painting, I don't know, I just didn't know what I was doing. Getting back into painting again after, it's been a busy month, and I had, you know, some good painting sessions, and then, you know, just, I don't know, it's like, when I think about my painting today, it's like, I don't know if I'm not feeling the painting, or if I'm feeling, feeling something else. Yes, I share my emotions and my personal thoughts on this live stream. And they say Monet used to like get in these huge tantrums where he would like smash his paintings. And I definitely don't have that type of personality to be smashing paintings. Unless, the only way I would smash a painting really out of frustration is if I was doing it for the creative purpose of it, but I wouldn't necessarily smash it out of like a frustration. I would probably just paint over it. It's like, why waste a great canvas? Apparently Claude Monet was like a very angry person. He would like smash paintings and have like lots of temper tantrums. So same thing with Vincent van Gogh. But I don't know if artists today could get away with like being a mean personality. I wonder if that's possible. Like, if I just started throwing tantrums and like smashing things, would that capture an audience or what? I don't know. Would people be interested? Can't always be masterpieces, but hopefully you got something out of it. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Hopefully I got something out of it. Why can't they all be masterpieces? What if this is a masterpiece and I just don't know it yet? Masterpiece. I want to keep working it. I want to keep doing stuff, but I think today's a good first session back. What the heck? What is this? What bizarre piece of work is this? Let's see what I can do. I don't like how my hair looks in this. It's very like dramatic hair. Scout, Boogie, go away. This is wet paint. Go away. What are you saying could also be true? I have said a lot of things since I noticed this comment, and I'm not sure exactly what your context is. This cat's just staring at me. Pookie, listen to me. Do you know why you can't come near this painting? Listen. Psst. Hey, look at me. Look at me when I'm talking to you. Pookie. Do you understand why you can't come near this painting, huh? Hey, don't get your... Yo, this little sneaky girl knows that she can, like, walk by it, but, like, should like put her tail on it. She'll just gently wag her tail back and forth and just slowly rub her tail on this. Such a little sneaky things they are. Kittens. This could be a masterpiece. You're right. Could be. Shouldn't be so down on myself. Like, here's a question. The people who have made what people might consider a masterpiece, the people who make masterpieces, like, you know, let's pick any artist, whoever your favorite artist, name your favorite artist, that they have masterpieces. Do you think they knew when they were creating a masterpiece that it was like a masterpiece, or do you think they just made it and it ended up becoming a masterpiece? Scout. Oh yeah, okay, I see. All right, I gotta stay with the conversation a little better sometimes. What can I do to this that would like give it a feel that makes it feel like mastery as opposed to just like messing around? What's like a touch? There's usually always like a touch, like a final touch that gives certain pieces a look of mastery, but other pieces, like, there's just like a touch. You could still paint and have like a painting look bad subjectively, and then you could have a painting, but like there's one that could like look like it was on purpose, look like, you know, there's like some mastery to it, and then there's other ways that just like it's just bad. And I think for certain artists it's about finding that in between. Ooh, I like that. I actually like that. It's kind of cool. And then here lies the question, you know, if someone was to see this painting, would they think that I have some sort of feeling that there's what would their assumptions about me be? I don't know. Would they be positive or negative? I think it needs more white. Should I do more? It's just like... Oh, I should have just left it. Dang it. I actually like this. I liked it better before, but... Oh. I don't know. It needs to look more controlled. Not like a bunch of fingers. One more. Oh, that's... I like... Ooh, what is that? That looks like a skull. You definitely look at that and just like, what the heck? All right. Going dark here. Just made a, I think this is a very dark painting. Dark feeling painting. There's a macabreness. All right, I think that's it. We're done. Okay, cool. There's a macabreness to that. What a weird word, right? When I was a kid, I used to pronounce it macabre. It's very macabre. Alexa, what is the definition of macabre?
The word macabre is commonly used to refer to something that is gruesome, horrifying, or ghastly. It can also be used to describe something that is grisly or macabre. In short, it means something that is disturbing or unpleasant. Did that answer your question?
Alexa, yes.
Thanks for your feedback.
So I used to pronounce it macabre, and I'm kind of glad that Alexa actually knows the difference between... Alexa, cancel. I like that she actually knows the difference between... She could tell that she could tell what I was trying to say, which is pretty cool. She can hear a mispronounced word and still be able to interpret it. But I'm guessing it's probably a commonly mispronounced word, macabre. Alright, that's another brush cleaned. Let's clean off this brush as well. Even though all it did was spread some paint around. I didn't even really get any paint on it. Let's get this brush. Let's use this brush. Spread it, clean it. Big macabre. Big macabre. Macabre. Big macabre. Big Mac, right, yeah, big macabre. Big macabre. Yes, the only person that could say this is not a masterpiece is the entire world. which is a lot of people. But if I want to call this a masterpiece, I can call it a masterpiece. Words of wisdom. All right, so we are done for the day. Wrapping up my paintings, as you could tell. I'm cleaning, actually. You can't tell that I'm wrapping up my paintings, but you probably see that I'm cleaning. Cleaning off my brushes and everything. You know, as a person who's having longer hair for the first time in my life, I have not gotten used to, like, figuring out how to keep it out of my face. So I'm constantly trying to flip it and reverse it and Euro-manipulate frame yet. I don't know what Missy J. Elliott actually says when you're manipper frame yet, but it sounds cool. Those of you joining us today, it's awesome for you to be here. And portrait of the artist. Yes, this is a portrait of an artist. We're wrapping up for the day. You actually know what she says, Corey? Actually wrap this up. Let me see. Throw away some of these supplies here that I probably don't need. That's a new glove. Why is that over there? It's a brand new glove. Now, I used watercolor paints the other day, and it was nice to not have to wear gloves. I like being so connected to my paint supplies. Hey, bud. That's all, folks. I like holding them like this. There's like little legs just brooped. Life's many mysteries. Alright, well, I'm going to wrap this up by letting some people enjoy our time with Mr. Kitty. Mr. Scout, say bye-bye. Wave with your little paw, your paw right there. Who here likes cat paws? Aren't they cute? Like little toes and little claws. Look how sharp his claws are. Aren't they, like, deadly? Honestly, if you wanted, he could probably slash my throat at night. Look how sharp that is, huh? You could totally just, like, if you wanted to, just... And I just give me a good slash. Good old slasheroo. Slasher. We should call him Slash. Slash. Wow. Alright, bud. You get down now. Alright, everybody. Take care. Thanks, Corey. Good to see you. Good to chat with you. Take care.